All right, we're live. Another hero's journey. Welcome everyone. It's Friday, February 12th, if anyone can believe that. Checking levels, looking good there, looking good there. All right, we got a request to join. Goody Boomer, it's Kraken Man Wave. Your request, I'm gonna go live with ya. Connecting. Yo, yo. What's up, bro? But yeah, what's been cracking, man? Just working?
Just working, man. Just hit a little transition. The company I was with doing all that content for and strategy stuff got acquired a couple weeks ago. So I decided to check out and went on a little vacation to Florida. And now I'm just kind of reassessing where I'm going to land the next few weeks, whether it's something for myself or another spot like I had. Because it was certainly fun, brother. How you been?
Damn.
Where you at now?
Sick, dude. I'm in Venice. I'm in Venice Beach.
Okay.
You know, old Venice Beach. So yeah, it's good, man. Just still cranking away. You know, same old.
Right.
Nothing really new. Just doing the California lockdown schedule, but luckily stuff's kind of open right now.
Yeah.
We went back to somewhat normality with just wear your mask and stuff. But yeah, for here there was like no restaurants open for a while, and it was kind of a shit show. But they're starting to open up a little bit more now, so that's nice.
Yeah, same thing. Denver was pretty. I've been all over, but lately Denver's like bubble restaurant. Everything. It's tough. I've been going to a lot of them because there's a lot of crap going on. If you don't go support your restaurant now, they're not going to be there after this. So it's kind of a pain in the butt. So I've been going to all my spots still masked up. Doing what I can. But Denver's been pretty shut down. They're doing a little better now, but. Seen 3 or 4 places in the last few months that were places you think would be wide open, and they're not. And then I just went to Florida for those 5 days, and you would think there's nothing going on down there. So Florida's wide open.
Yeah.
Florida's wide open. I think Carson, my buddy's in here with us too. He'll tell you, Carson, it's wide slam open. Like sitting on a beach with hundreds of people, I was kind of like a little freaked out. But 5th negative test now. I keep coming back, and I keep not having it. So. I'm going to keep it moving,
Dude, so you've gotten tested 5 times?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, from March I was supposed to go overseas, and I didn't. We killed all that. And then I had normal travel, and I had all that harvest. I was in harvest season for like 60 days, filming stuff back and forth all over the map. And I kept getting tested because I was going to go to Oregon after, and I'm seeing families and stuff. I'm a single guy. Like, I'm going to be okay, I feel like. But it was more the other people, But yeah, then this one came back from Florida, 100% got tested on this one. This is the one where I was actually fearful of it a little bit. And
You're like, I might have got it this time.
Well, I mean, I was still around limited people, but when you're on farms and stuff, and it's me, I don't have a big staff, so it's a couple people, like a processor, a grower, right? Or if it's, but down there it was poker, backyard, cooking with all my Brazilian buddies, and like having a good meal and stuff. So definitely a little more social this last week, but I feel great. So how about
nice,
you?
Nice.
You've had no scares, right? Your family, everybody good?
Yeah, doing good, man. I've been tested a few times, but so far, besides, every now and then you're like, oh no, do I have it? But
air quality, it's that SoCal air quality, and Denver's catching up, I feel like. But
it's my allergies too. Every now and then, like my allergies kick up. Like right now, the pollen's bad, so my allergies are kind of bad. So I'll kind of be like, oh no, got the plague. But luckily, it's just my allergies usually,
Right on.
So those are my little scares.
What hero's journey is this? I've watched a few.
Thanks, dude.
What episode are we on now? What is this?
We're chugging along. This is actually episode 50.
50?
This is episode 50. This is a big episode. So I'm happy you hopped on.
I feel grateful. I don't hop on ever for 49, and I just time it right for the 50th episode. This is special.
It's perfect, dude.
So what's on the agenda today for you? What's going on?
Just doing this, man. Actually, my birthday's tomorrow.
How old will you be turning?
23.
Yeah. I'll be 33 I'll be 33 too. I'll be 100%. I'll be 33.
Exactly, yeah. So just add like
amazing.
10-ish years, and that's my real age. Now, I'll be 34. I want to make it a big joke, but now that the cat's out of the bag,
I got you good. Yeah, I came in
Um,
strong talking about medical stuff, your age, just all things you really enjoy.
yeah, just right to the get go. Yeah, I had a couple show notes. Yeah, basically this show was going to be just like a 50th show. You know, a couple topics, just random topics. I was going to do this isn't my notepad. Oh no, here it is. I was gonna do well, I'll talk about it. Well, I can just talk to you now. So I'm hoping when I record this, there's like text over your face. But oh wait, there we go. I'm like still figuring out how to like.
Handsome face, man. Why do you want captions over me? It's gonna be right.
Yeah, I don't want them. Yeah, that's the thing. So I wonder if I do this.
It might. Yeah, I can see that again. You the thing is,
you'll record it. What?
You know the thing is, it used to be when you did the split screen live, it wouldn't let you push it right away. But I don't think you push yours right away anyway, right? You're pulling them off with multiple cameras, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. Because it always jacked me up.
Yeah, what Instagram does, so I can download this video without the captions, and then when I screen record, I do the captions. So luckily, when I download it, it will be without captions.
Sure.
So you'll show your face, and
cool.
And I guess we'll see how the audio works for that one part. But luckily, it's working now, and I'll figure it out. But yeah, man, I was gonna go over some things I was gonna do for my birthday. I'm not doing much, It's like we get to be 23, 33, as you say, and
couple years in the bar scene. Yeah. A couple years in the bar scene. You don't want to. 23 is a big year. You don't want to really. You kind of develop that year, I think. So.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
You're 10 years from now, though, that's when you really know. 10 years past this birthday coming up tomorrow,
Yeah.
When you're really in
there. Nice.
You really got all the unlocks going then, 23, you still don't know shit. I'm glad I get to talk to you when you're so young,
Yeah, no, me too, man. Before I, really start aging up, and
that's your future. You see it. You got a little more than me, but that's your future right there. Just start slowly turning into Gandalf.
Yeah, I haven't cut this in a while, and that's the plan. I'm gonna just keep growing this until I just look too homeless, and then I'll, stop.
I just thought about something. There's gonna be a lot of people that watch this after the fact. They're like, "Who's this guy?" and whatever. So
Travis and I haven't seen each other.
We haven't seen each other in what? Since Jimmy, you and Jimmy hung out that day in Virginia Beach.
It's been a while, yeah. It's been
back when Jimmy lived with me. Like it might have even been before that.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
it was like the creation of the lunch A. I think that was during that time. That token. That was it. That was the time. So.
Yeah, the bring you lunch. Yeah,
bring you lunchy.
Yep. Yeah. Brett, my brother's still repping that hard.
Nice. So what was that? We got to figure that out for the people, if nothing else, or for me. I'm getting old. I can't remember shit.
Yeah, so what's going on with you? Let's dive into your. Let me fill my coffee up here. I still haven't got my first thing. It's funny because you I'm glad you called in. But you kind of threw me off guard because my new thing is I'll start the Instagram live a little early. I realize sometimes it takes a minute or two to even register on other people's thing. So I'll kind of hold off as my new plan. But then it kind of backfired because I wasn't really ready.
I jacked you up. Yeah,
I'm scrambling.
Sometimes I hit the
live. Pouring my coffee for the first little shot was gonna be my little kind of what I do sometimes.
You do the coffee, I'll do the weed. Sounds good. I've already had coffee. I can't coffee at 1 o'clock for me. I'll never sleep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's only noon here, and I'm kind of late to the shit. I've already done some things, so it's kind of like that. I'm not that bad with coffee. I'm pretty tall. I mean, I don't drink it after 6, but pretty tolerable, pretty addicted, So, but yeah, cheers. You have your little thingy. I got my thingy.
We're in.
But yeah, man. So what are you up to these days? Let's get a little.
Man, crazy
update.
3 years in a row. I moved out to Colorado about 2 years and 10 months ago. And from that time on, when I joined up with Terminator Brand, I just kind of went 100 miles an hour, taught myself all kinds of shit that you've known forever, and just kind of started doing a lot of content at scale for that brand. And it's obviously all centered around cannabis and basically visiting farms, visiting facilities, filming the machines in action, the lifestyle, basically storytelling the whole way. And fell in love with it, right? Went 100 miles an hour. So literally until we were acquired a couple weeks ago, that was like my first vacation right after that, like in 3 years. Other than, I mean, cannabis business is fun. So every day I'm out learning stuff with the equipment or editing or whatever, as well as being around something I love. So it's not like it wasn't fun, but still a hell of a grind. So I'm just coming out of that now, and got a little money in the bank from it, which was nice, and have some time to do new shit. So it's kind of like never been in the spot. You know, I always can do what you want, but different when you have people pulling on you, wanting to do work for them, or you have your own ideas for new types of ways to go film and be around cannabis still and create content still. So world's kind of out there, it's kind of open for me right now. So we'll see if it's another machinery company or if it's another actual another business I start, just kind of figuring that out this week, to be honest, and next week. So
damn, dude, that's sick.
Crazy times, brother.
Yeah, I've been liking the Terminator content. It's been really cool. Like, I'm always, whenever I watch them on there, it's really intriguing, right. And always like watch most of it. It's like always engaging, just because it's like pretty behind the scenes, and
that's all I knew how to do. It was a couple nice pieces here and there, and some funky edits, and then just constant documentation. Right, that's all it is, really. I mean, I think that's the way, to be honest. Especially if you don't know, if you're not as skilled as you are, and you don't know, like, just go.
Yeah, because I think these days it's like there's almost two different kinds of content creators. I don't really like that word, but that's kind of what it is. Just artists. There's terms of on social media or out there. It's like the one that just has the great and a lot of people I watch, not necessarily don't care if the audio isn't great or the video is not great. It's like what they're like, the content, the actual what they're saying or doing is really what's important.
For sure.
And then there's like the other group who kind of enjoys like really trying to take the production level up a notch, and it's almost for them it's sometimes they're not even saying stuff that's that important or interesting, but just that like how good it looks or sounds can kind of draw you in. So that's kind of like, for me, I'm trying to like combine both worlds, I guess, but I definitely think that it's just kind of fun for me too to kind of push my own limits and to try to like
without a production
it's cool to be I'm like really into it again. Yeah, like this new camera I got, man, it really got me just super into like filmmaking again, because it
looks pretty badass. I've seen a lot of your work so far with it. I can
thanks, man.
I can tell it's a special thing. Yeah, I've always been nervous. I'll probably scoop something nicer now, but it's always been a huge learning curve. Like, I needed time to be able to just work with that piece of equipment doing anything, and I wanted to, but it's tough to, like, I don't know, it felt tough anyway when you're engaged in that much constant, right? To stop and learn a real solid device. And that sounds idiotic, but there wasn't time. Now there is, so maybe that's what I'll do. You send me some recommendations of what a nice setup, because I have all kinds of crazy different, GoPro drone, whatever, good phone, this decent Canon, right? Like, whatever I'm supposed to have now, tell me.
Yeah. Well, do you have the like that Canon M50 is pretty sick. Do you know about that?
I have an old Canon DSLR.
Rebel?
I think it's I'll tell you right now.
Rebel XT4.
Oh, no, it's a 70D. She's an old.
That thing's sick. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was mostly obviously just all the 4K stuff in that environments were shot with the phone, the GoPro, whatever, or drone. That was pretty much the move, constant. Because there's so many lives like you're experiencing now, right? You have multiple cameras. When you first started, you were just doing your iPhone 12 or 11 or whatever, right?
Yeah. No, definitely. Somehow it's still the iPhone 8 Plus.
It is the 8 Plus?
Yeah, and it's crushing it.
It works.
It's funny.
Fine.
I find no reason to upgrade. I mean, it'd be nice to have just the upgrade, but this thing can shoot 4K 60, and that's kind of like even though I shoot all my real cameras in 24p, like 23.98 frames per second, like a movie. On the iPhone, I'll always shoot at 60 frames per second, because then even though it looks a little more actiony, you can always just slow parts down, which is nice.
Sure.
Like, when you're snowboarding, you can film everything and then put it regularly on the 24p timeline. But then when you have little parts you want to slow down, you can slow them down and they'll look good. But if you shoot everything on 24 and you try to slow it down, it gets like kind of choppy.
for sure. Not enough.
So like on the
frames, right?
drones, I'm sure on the drones are you shooting like the higher frame rates on those, or just kind of not getting too crazy with it?
It's a Mavic Pro 2, I think. So mostly,
Yeah.
I think just 4K 60 on it. But a lot of these are just low crawls, and half the footage I still haven't used. Right, I'm just crawling along the top of a crop or acreage or whatever. And I've done some cool stuff when I first got it. I was a little more cavalier. But I hated flying with it with sensors on around farms because there's so many weird little things. It would just bounce all over the place sometimes, especially when I was real inexperienced. But I like it now, just flying it completely manual and like really taking my time with it. So yeah, I've been this last season I used mostly all 4K 60, I think, I'm pretty sure. And then animals, there wasn't much I was slowing down, right? These are like, oh, I need it right now, boom, it's out, and I'll mess with it later. It was never like super cinematic, I guess is the right way to say it. I don't know.
I mean, 4K 60 is sick, and on the drones, that's the way to go, because we got a bunch of peeps on the drones. That's the way to go, because like it ends up because it can end up a little smoother in the end, just because you have a little more frames to work with, if that makes sense.
Right. And then
the gimbals are good on drones, so the Mavic Pro's pretty awesome, I bet. I mean, I had the Mavic.
I watched when you crashed your thing in the tree or whatever. I watched that video and I felt for you, because I had I think the first one I've gotten, I was in Utah. It was totally just personally flying it around, nothing going on, and clipped a power line. Like missed it one time, and then like totally went and started getting new angles of the thing, and clipped it, and it wasn't ideal. But this one, yeah, and it's the interesting part. I've also had it been on farms that are traditional market. It's kind of funny, well, sort of funny. Traditional market farms, and like people are like, oh, you know, we don't really want you flying drones around. And I've also had it completely shut off on the screen. Like I could see the drone, but the screen shut off, and that means I don't have any idea, and I fly it manual. So like there's no, to me at that point, there was no help, right? I was just like, okay, I'll wait till this thing comes back on, and eventually it did, but not cold, not weather, nothing weird. Just would shut off in certain areas in Northern California. And I'm like,
oh dang, that's weird.
I don't know, they have like fencing, like some kind of like, I don't know the right term for it, but some kind of fencing or some shit to where like screen's dead. And it happened here in Denver. You're not supposed to fly at Garden of the Gods area where this nice, like, cool rock trails are and all this shit. But I got down far off of it, and I just wanted to get up for a couple pictures, and I was going to catch it and get on with it. And it shut off there, too. So it has to be something that somebody doesn't want you to do. For guys like me, they would just say, fuck it, and take off. But anyway.
I mean, I'll sometimes get, like, I think they redid the app, like, because maybe are you using, or are you using, it's like the DJI, I don't know, my phone.
Whatever one was for it, yeah.
What?
Whatever one was for it, for sure. Like, I mean.
Yeah, supposedly they fixed a few of the bugs, but I know some people talk about that, or something. Lately, like, even the drones have just been, like, flying away. Have you heard that?
No, I haven't.
There's, like, a new insurance DJI made that's, like, insurance for your flyaway drone. Like, I think it's becoming more of an issue where the drone just kind of, like, gets a mind of its own and just, or maybe, I don't know, maybe you're like near the range and then it kind of just like gets outside of it. I don't know if your screen shuts off, but when mine crashed, it was funny because mine crashed and like my screen shut off, but it was obviously because like the drone hit the ground or whatever. Right. But I was lucky where it saved the footage. The SD card was fine, but the file was corrupted on the card, but it did that thing where it sends you the like temporary files on your phone.
Sure.
So luckily I had that clip, like, because it would have sucked to lose the clip. And then, dude, I almost wasn't able to find the drone. It took like, it was right near the lake in Tahoe.
Did you have the sensors on and it just bam into the tree, or it tried to get out of it? You're already too into it.
Yeah, it had the sensors on, but is it maybe not, if you're going sideways, can it sense to the side?
Well, what I learned, and probably there'll be a drone expert to correct me, but it's sonic, right? So it senses some of the stuff. I think it's only maybe from the bottom of the drone to the ground, how far you are based off a ping or some shit like that. But mine, I turn them all off for that reason. That's why I was asking if you had it on, because I've like almost flown into some shit and stoned or like not paying attention for a split second and just had to do my own move to get out of there. And I've also, when I first learned with it, it would bounce off all kinds of weird shit. And it's pretty windy in Colorado where I was learning, so like wind and it touching the thing, and like I just said, hell with that. If I crash it, I crash it. But, yeah, that's crazy. At least you got the footage. I saw the thing.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Luckily, I had a few friends that were just like, "Hey, you're getting too ballsy." And now, when you first get it, you're all like cocky, and I was trying to show up to my
Oh,
dad. Like,
you didn't do it. They did it, or you did it? Cat's out of the bag.
The drone crash.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I did it. I mean, if the sensor told me not to keep going, there's Harry, it's up, dude. It probably would have stopped, but like, it didn't really give me any sensor indication, and then just kind of, maybe because the tree branch was maybe kind of like thin, and so I don't know. I did see the map, like you said. Yeah, I thought it was more of like a all around it thing, but I don't know, maybe I'm still so new to it. I was also in sports mode. I don't know if maybe sports mode, it can go faster and be better, but not the tech stuff as much. Is that maybe a thing too, or?
I think sport mode has a little more ass. You know what I mean?
Okay, so
we got H Bings in here.
Normal.
Hey, we got to say hi to Harrison. We've had Jason in here. I think I played volleyball with a while back. And we got H Bings up in here. The boys.
Yeah, Harry. We got the big time musician.
What the fuck are you stoners talking about?
What are you?
We're just hanging out for the first time live in years. We just figured I'd tap the button. That's what we're doing, Harrison.
Yeah.
He's having coffee. I just burned a J. What are you doing? They need to have the the quad. I think they do. I think you have to set up your own private room though. But they made that live. Watch, they're going to take the clubhouse. They're going to take the clubhouse thing and bring it over to Instagram, just like they did Snapchat stories back in the day.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, luckily when I hit like Instagram will download this, then I have a screen recording. Instagram will hopefully have no chat, no look. Like it'll still be like this, but I can even kind of like put us together. We'll see, because I have these cameras going too. I'll see kind of what the best like framing is, but it's all fun, and
don't let me hijack your whole show too. Like, if you want me to get out of here and you got an agenda, like I'm here with you.
Oh no, cool, dude. Let's keep rocking on. I mean, I just try to keep them under like an hour, just because that's kind of the Instagram limit. But at the same time, I can do part 1, part 2, so it's not really. It's funny that I came on here planning to like just do a quick one, because I feel like I had nothing to talk about. I was like, because I haven't done one in a while, and I've been kind of busy.
Sure.
But no, I'm happy this is turning into this thing, because it's a lot more entertaining, and the goal is to have more people call in. I mean, some people just have shit going on, etc. I don't feel like talking, but it really is more so. I just think it's interesting to have people tell their little, even if it's just like an updated story, like this is what I'm doing now, and like last couple years I've been doing this, because that's really what kind of the show and my perspective is about. Is just about like your daily little journey of your struggle, and then if you're someone who watches this person, you watch 10 episodes. The first episode they were trying to get this bike, and then by the 10th episode, they're doing tricks on the bike at the skate park.
For sure.
That story is really like, that's typical arc of or not even an arc. It's just a typical plot line in a movie or something. That's what makes. That's why we watch stuff. It's for the story, and kind of going back to like our content. Like, oh, it looks crappy, but it's cool, or it looks great, but it's crappy content. Like at the end, if the story's cool and it can resonate with you, the audience, and that's really the most important thing.
For sure.
And
you get people's attention, or you don't. Like
exactly.
Usually the case, right? It's such a precious commodity. Like right now, I'm pretty sure we still have Harrison's attention. We have it there's a good story going on. Harrison's locked in. He's probably took a Bing. H Bings for no reason.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm like, I get it. It's like people have shit going on, and so I don't really expect anyone to. But when they do, you're like, all right, interesting. Or I still can't believe people ever even watching them. Watching these, because like there's just so much stuff to do and watch and see, and a lot of people just want to kind of watch like 5 to 10 seconds and then move on to the next, scroll to the next thing. So, but I guess also for me is like this kind of stuff is like what I like to consume. So I'm starting to try to make stuff more that I like to consume.
Sure.
Which is, I guess we all kind of do, but even more so if it's not that popular. Like I like to just like throw in a 2 hour,
whatever you'd want to see,
2 hours thing, and just like throw in an earbud and do my thing. And I like the long stuff.
Yeah.
But that stuff isn't really, until you get big enough. I think that stuff isn't like as pops off as enough. But
well, you can also go back and chop it up. I mean, that's the idea with a piece of pillar content and a piece of micro content. You're just chopping it up, right? Like you may find something out of this one you like, boom, throw that up again. That's just your
like.
But you're right about that. Making what you'd like to see especially in these kind of lives or in any kind of solo artist kind of outlook, right? Like you're always in control of that whole process until your old buddy joins the live. But then, but seriously, the long form is, if that's what you like to consume, that's what makes you happy. Capturing in this format is your jam. So I wouldn't notice that there. Hero's Journey 100. I'm just going to pop in too, and hope I timed it, because I didn't know how special of an episode.
Yeah, it's funny that it was like the 50th one, and I was like, and I think I'm going to try to turn this into like a podcast too. I mean, I know that's kind of cliche, but I think, at first I'm just going to try to export the audios and just have this stuff be on Spotify, iTunes, etc. as well, just as like audio forms. So I'm still doing a little research on that, but I think it's doable. So it'll just be like another kind of outlet to have this stuff. And then like what you just said, I want to do that more. I've kind of been a little lazier about taking the little like 30-second or little snippets and then putting those out. So I want to start doing that more too. Because that's kind of what's engaging too. Like, you'll watch like someone's Instagram, they'll have like just their 30 seconds from their podcast or like whatever. And like even at the beginning of that might be like the punchline. Like, then it's like the title, and then, then let's watch this 30-second thing. How did they get to that joke? Or, kind of like catch you right away first.
Or
and
pull them back in, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the idea, just on the technical side, the idea is straight up. It's like, how many times do you see a Joe Rogan clip with Elon Musk 7 minutes to pull you into the 3 hour, right? Or how many times do you, forget a tweet or this, but you're thinking that way to pull just the audio for a podcast because you're on episode 50 already, right?
Yeah,
so really, technically you are, as well as excerpts from other ones if you want. I think that's such a easy way. Once you create that long form, man, you have and you're doing it, documenting everything from the beginning to end. So that's great. You're going to look back on it and be happy about it. Trust me. That's what I'm doing. I said it's kind of boring. Like, I'm going through just farm footage, just, buds, process, making rosin, hash, whatever. And like just pulling that footage aside, I'm like, man, that's a lot of years that's terabytes worth of shit, right? Like, you're going to be happy to look back on it. So it's good on you.
Yeah, that's what someone told me. I forget who it was, but it was some guy who like is like a pro at like Facebook, Instagram, like marketing stuff. And he was basically just saying that, like, you see someone and they have their Lamborghini in their mansion and like that's their post. And maybe it's cool, but at the same time you're like, it's not that engaging. What's more fun is if you saw them, working at the coffee shop, and then they get their promotion, and then they get their and see that journey, and that really is what's like. And then when you see that picture in the Lambo, it means so much more.
Sure.
And it's actually like,
or maybe they never have a Lambo. Maybe they got a bunch of Jeeps. Maybe they got whatever. But like you see their
Well,
you're only 23, bro. You're only 23, so
yeah. Well, that's
into the Lambo life.
Well, no, I wouldn't even if I was like a good millionaire, But that's the thing people do. I'm sure they do it. Where you have to like, they'll just rent a Lamborghini for the day, just to kind of like take pictures and then like promote that lifestyle, because maybe they're selling something, and then you want to like, he's got the Lambo. If I join his team, I'll be able to. But he just like rented it for the day.
Hey man, everybody talks about
that's like a big
humble.
Thing out here right now.
Everybody talks about staying humble. You got to stay humble with your money too. Sometimes, like, you can't. I can tell you stories. I won't name too many names, but like cannabis companies in the last 3 years have been a crazy rush in. Lots of them you see like, man, that's a great team. Man, that's a great company. Wow, they're doing well. And you see them start renting, $15,000 a night Airbnbs to throw parties at the conference ceremony. And then about a year later, you see them gone. So you got to be humble with your money too.
Yeah.
We got a guy in here that used to follow Terminator a lot. He's a friend of mine. He's
that's sweet.
Yeah. Real G for Life's in here with us, looks like. So we got Real G for Life. We got H Bings and me and Trav.
Sweet.
Dude, I was going to tell you the other day, I'm glad we're on this live now. I was making a reel the other day, and you tap favorites, or not favorites, beside favorites, suggested or whatever it is. Fourth one down's Travis Varga.
No way.
Swear to God. I should have screenshotted it, but I actually thought it was going to be commonplace. And I think when I go back to make another reel, it'll be there. But I don't know if they pulled in from something else on Spotify or Reels, or if you're just naturally in that fourth organic spot for suggested that day, which is pretty badass.
Dude,
and I got to find it. but it suggested it. It was just like a random couple clips. Like I wasn't searching for any music. I just tapped the button to see what they suggest, and you were there, man.
No way,
Yeah.
that's so cool, dude. That means I'm doing something right, because I've kind of been like doing all the hashtags and all that kind of stuff, and it's good to know that I'm popping up, because it's funny how like you'll put out a reel.
It's your sound.
What?
It's got to be a track or some sound, from it be suggested in real sounds.
True, but I only use my music. Like I'm not, because I know you can use like a trending song, and that's probably. Sure. But I'm trying to just like keep it all my stuff, just because I think I get money from the streams too.
I'll start using
my own song.
Hey, if that's the case, you gotta support your brother. I'll start using it then. I should have used it right away. It was probably a no-brainer, but I probably just spaced it and was like, "Oh, I'll see that again. Let me screenshot it. I'll do it next time." Because you gotta be
sick, dude. Yeah. Like they're really pushing the reels. I don't know how the algorithm works, but like a reel will get just way more views or whatever. And it's funny how, like, I don't know if you've noticed, but like either it'll get like a shit ton of views like right away, or it just kind of gets like lost. But if it gets like picked up quick, it'll get like, you'll see like you'll check it every minute, it'll get like a couple more hundred, and then you can kind of see how they can. So I'm thinking at the beginning is when it ends up on that page, and then it kind of like, people scroll through it. I'm still not sure how, but it's good to know that I'm doing
it's pretty gnarly
to end up on there. So I'll keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, the reels just shows you to more of a different audience than you already have, which means that's a high opportunity area for growth, basically, right? So if you make a reel and it has enough engagement early, which is what you're saying you're noticing, that's good. You may get pushed up to Discover, right, or whatever they are for reels, and then it helps you on the backside with how much that early engagement is, and then I think the time too. So it's a lot of little weird stuff, but in general, the rule is just make it's part of the move, right? Like you brush your teeth, business routine or whatever, or creation routine, however you want to label it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's cool. You can do a lot of them with these too.
What's that?
You can do a lot of them with these because it seems like there's obviously success with music, but there's also a lot of success with just speaking, right? Like just voiceover type content. So anyway.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I need to start making these into reels more. You're right. That is a good idea.
15-30 seconds. You may introduce something. You may have shown something, or it's just an easy clip. I mean, you can do it on your phone while you're making your coffee for sure. I mean, that's a
you're
on your
idea,
phone now
man.
having your coffee.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea, because for some reason the reels I've been more like trying to make them like kind of visually cool and a little less about just because it's like they're so short, and I'm imagining someone watching it like, oh, that's cool, but you're right, like I know myself, even though I enjoy cool visuals, like an audio will kind of draw me in more. For sure,
especially for sure. Well, you'll be able to pull them in if that's an easy piece of micro content for you to create. Just put it in the mix, right? Have your creative ones, and then have your 15-30 second sound bites that are solid, or both. Do whatever you want. You're the man on that side. Yeah, I feel bad. Now I got time to slow down a little bit, hit you up for a lot of advice on the editing, and especially this new camera I'm going to get, whatever I get. So
yeah, cool,
you're
man.
in trouble, man. I got a lot of time on my hands.
I'll be happy to help. This stuff, it's fun for me, man. To like and yeah, I was going to say, look into just before I forget, the M50 Mark II. So it's the Canon, because you probably used the Canon, and I think Canon, the colors are just great, And this new one, it's the M50 Mark II. I think it's only like $600 or $1,000 or something, and
$700.
Yeah, and it has a flippy screen. It's real small, so it could be a sick move. Yeah, it could be a sick move, because it's basically like your D80, just smaller with like a better sensor.
Right.
And it'll be better in lower light, because I know it's probably where the not the D80, whatever, the 7D or whatever.
70D, yeah.
Probably struggles as low light, I would guess.
I mean, like I said, I usually only use it for stills and whatnot because I have it's only 1080, right? It's only shooting in 1080. Sometimes I'll set it up as a second camera or something, especially like hash drips off those plates. I'll set it up, with a decent shot for that. But it's between me learning that camera, I guess since I didn't come from that background, it's been a challenge. So I like to stick with what I know, that at least what turned out well for me, because I had to go so fast. But now that I have time, new camera, 100% to dive in.
Yeah, M50 Mark II, because then you'll have, if you need the V camera, you can still use it. You can try to get like a Sony or something else, but I don't know if you're going to want to take the learning curve. Like there's the Sony A7C, which is kind of cool, or any of the Sony, I would say the Sony A7C if you're going to get a Sony. Right. But that's even like 1800, and that's without a lens. Which is fine, but it's
if I don't end up really developing into that piece of equipment, it would be too much of a spend, I think, probably.
Yeah, I think that like the Canon would
much as I'd want
better. Yeah, but
I said as much as I'd want it, I might buy something and everyone's like, oh man, I wish I had that camera. You can't even use the fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be. Yeah. I don't want to have that piece of equipment, and I've had it for a little while, so like it's just got to invest the time, just like anything else.
Yeah.
So I know you had your notepad, man. I don't want to hijack your whole deal here. I'll stay on with you, or I can bounce out. You said you had a short agenda. We got.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of covered it. I kind of covered it. I guess we could go over it.
What you got?
Let's see. So, I mean, basically, it was, got the birthday coming up,
Yeah.
So, but I was going to take a different route. So on my birthday, I was going to do one of my little beach walks. So I'm going to pick up trash on the beach. Now I'm making myself look good here. But I thought, like, it'd be cool to, because I've been meaning to do that more. Just trying to be more, like, I see this guy out in Venice all the time, and he's just some, like, homely, crazy-looking guy. But, like, every time I see him, he's walking around picking up trash.
Sure.
I'm like, he's not taking pictures. There's not girls, like, thinking he's hot. He's just some dude who just wants to pick up trash. And I'm just like, this guy is the fucking man. Like, this is my hero right here. Like, this guy isn't getting any acclaim. He's just, this is this thing. And I've seen him do it dozens of times. So I'm like, all right, if he can do this dozens of times, I can do it at least once. So, I don't know, it's just been like, because people just are just kind of gnarly here too in Venice. It's just like, I mean, there's like shit in the streets. It's getting a little out of hand.
Hey, I'll tell you where a lot of people from California came, because I was looking for, I'm not sure if I'm moving to Southern Oregon or moving to NorCal. I have options in both places right now, but I may have to get an Airbnb here for my last month. And I'm looking at all these places, and I'm like, why is there so little rentals in the Colorado mountains right now? Forget the season, ski season or whatever. Everybody from California that left came to Colorado, I feel like. And it's like the real estate lady, like 3 real estate people told me this shit. And I'm like, man, bro, like, can you have a cabin? Is there a cabin left up in the hills for me somewhere for a month or two? But anyway, what you should do is just go get a sup and rig something up on the paddle where you can scoop it out of the ocean. And you got 2 things in one there with your trash day tomorrow.
I was sick. Oh, well, I meant just on the beach.
Oh, no.
But that's a good idea too. Luckily, it's not that bad in the water yet. It's not that bad in the water.
It's good.
Every now and then, luckily, no, it's not to that level. That would be horrible. There's literally just like every now and then you see like a bag, but no, luckily it hasn't gotten to that level yet. There's still at least enough respect. I mean, a lot of it's too just like on the sidewalks, like on the streets adjacent to the beach. But I'll probably focus more on the beach. But I don't know, just kind of a little like an idea I had, like a couple of birthday activities, like want to get a surf in, want to get a walk in, might just give back a little bit to the area that has given me so much. That's kind of, because usually on your birthday you want to just take
yeah.
I'm like trying to do a little trick, like, all right, universe, I'm gonna give,
whip it up,
and then what are you gonna do? I'm out here, like, has to hook me up, right?
I'm out here giving back on my birthday. What are you doing on your birthday?
Yeah,
you're probably eating cake and cheersing and burning like whatever. I'm gonna help out the environment. I like it. If the guy's out there constant and it's your birthday and there's it's a special event, you don't want to be beaten to the street by this guy. Like, if you're really,
true, yeah.
It's not a competition. It's not a competition because he's your hero, but you're on the beach. If he's ahead of you a few hundred yards, and it sounds like he does this a lot, he knows where to look, right? So
he could beat me to the punch. So I'm gonna have to like get there before him.
Yeah, don't flip it on him too.
And like we're looking at each other, like that'd be funny. We see a piece of trash.
Get the coffee early. Get the coffee earlier than noon. I know it's your birthday, but you're a young guy, 23 years old. You can scoot out there. Yeah. You can beat the guy on the streets. Come on now.
Yeah, man. So that's about it. I'm gonna just keep it pretty chill. I mean, it's the weekend here too, and it's like Valentine's Day. It's all a shit show. I'm not planning on doing nothing too crazy, just because it's gonna be kind of a shit show. But that's basically it. That's on the agenda there. There'll be some fun waves too.
Have you gotten into the Clubhouse app, the drop-in audio app yet?
I've seen it. I've seen more about that, but I still haven't downloaded it.
Okay. Well, you gotta, when you download it, it's iOS only, and you gotta get an invite. If you need an invite, they just released a few more invites. There's some cool stuff on there, and it's a lot of chaos right now, rooms and clubs for drop-in audio, but it's pretty neat. I mean, there's been some valuable stuff. There's people in there that you wouldn't just be able to hear what they would say on a normal basis. Like, they're not constantly on a podcast. Anything you name it's on there, right? So certainly videography, filmmaking, all those categories are in there. And there's some, right now, since it's invite only, it's kind of, I don't know, just like any platform where there's a lot of people trying to carve out their personal brand in that app right now. But there's a lot of heavy hitters in there. If you there's somebody you have always wanted to listen to constantly, they're probably in a club or a room once or twice a week, 3 times a week, giving out some pretty good info. I've learned a lot just in stocks or this, that, and the other, just trying to see what the platform's about. But I've told this to everybody, I'm not a Clubhouse guy. There's no benefit. I just think it's actually pretty fucking cool. If you like podcasts anyway and you like long form, some of these rooms are junk, but there's some in there, like I say, there's a lot of value. So if you want to hop in there, tell me, I'll send you, might have to update your contact in my phone, since it's always been in person or over Instagram DM. You have to send me your actual phone number, and I'll send you an invite if you feel like popping in there.
Yeah, cool. Because isn't that the app that I'm gonna grab my cream? Isn't that the app that you can call in and then be part of the show too? Kind of
you can literally join clubs. You can hop in a room. Let's say this was a room and there was us talking about whatever. People can slide in and listen to it. You can raise your hand, basically move to the top of the panel, let's call it, and you can speak with them. Usually there's like a leader or host of a panel or a room. They kind of run it, but it kind of takes its own path. There's obviously right now some of the ones you hop in, at least in my space, cannabis, there's just a lot of people early in these rooms that are, like I say, working on their personal brand, and there's value if you're interested in learning and meeting and networking, right? But then there's some clubs and rooms and certain speakers that come in and they're closed, or they're actually a little more moderated, right, where it's limited panel. And those are the ones you're really getting the juice from, at least in my opinion. But I'm getting old if I'm talking about shit like that, right? But still, it's interesting. There's some cool shit in there, man. I don't like to waste my time with long form too much or having to sort through a bunch of stuff. I kind of want to be targeted in my attention. And this is one that doesn't really fit that, but I'm still, tapped in to check it out. So
nice, dude. Yeah, I'll put it on the agenda, on the list, because I feel like YouTube's kind of even going a little more that way. Like, they'll have the live chat feature, and then a lot of times, a lot of the YouTube creators are making their shows like call-in.
Sure.
Just to have a little more engagement. And the Clubhouse is a more streamlined version of it.
For sure.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw a ad on somewhere the other day, and I hadn't really heard about it. I was like, I feel like that's going to be one of the next things.
Everybody loves podcasts, and this is one where, man, every guest you probably already listened to or read his book or her book, they're in there, mostly already.
Yeah.
And the invite thing's pretty cool. You can see who invited you onto the platform. It's only iOS and it's only invite, which is kind of whatever. Open up for Android.
Yeah, I was just thinking they probably to keep the trolls out have to have some kind of method, and that's probably is.
I don't know.
Someone could just come in and be like, "Hey, you suck," or something.
Yeah, at least you have some track record of wow, you invited this toxic person to the rooms, right? For sure.
That makes perfect sense.
Like Harrison's still in here? We'd never send Harrison the invite. He can't.
For some reason, it's only telling me that Carson's still in here.
Carson's my guy. Carson will stay for the whole show. So Carson, if he's still in here, that's great. You can see that. Carson,
I think he is, yeah.
He still works at the company that bought us a few weeks ago, and he was a salesperson. He came in. I was there for maybe a year, but I'm glad he's on here listening. Carson's good. He just bought his first house. He's 20. He actually is 21, I believe. He's in his lower 20s, not to blow your spot again, but he just bought his first house down in Florida, so I'm stoked for him for that. 21, I was definitely not buying my first house. I was trying to figure out how to flip a couple pounds of weed, right?
Yeah, kind of like double my. Oh, he said. Carson said, like, can you see that when he just said that?
Yeah, loving the show, y'all.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he said loving the show. There you go. Sweet. We're killing it.
There you go, Carson. This is my buddy Travis Varga. I haven't seen him face to face at all. We DM'd a bunch, and I probably haven't seen him in person since Bring Your Lunch, which has to be at least 7 or 8 years ago.
It's been a while, dude.
At least. But yeah.
Feels like yesterday.
I know. I've turned into like your great uncle, and you still look the same. So I'm not really happy about it, to be honest. But
Sweet.
still good to see you. I'm still excited.
Yeah, you too, man. Yeah, for sure.
It's a problem having all those young friends. Now that I'm older, I'm looking back, and they're still looking young. They're still young guys.
Dude, you look good. You're good.
Ancient, bro.
Ancient. You're killing it, dude.
Yeah. So, well, I'm gonna probably bounce out of here. I feel like I've split screen with you for now a solid amount of time. Hit him with the follow. Yeah. Love the content. There you go. You got a follow out of Carson. Carson's all about that engagement. He got taught by this old man that you're looking at. Carson's all about it.
Oh, it's funny. We got like the different decades, like the 20, 30, 40s.
Yeah, well, yeah. So 44 on the bottom. You'll be 33 tomorrow.
Yeah, 34.
34, and
Carson 23.
Carson turned 21 maybe a few months back, if I had to guess. So.
That's hilarious.
Sick, right? Anyway. All right, brother.
Well, cool, man. Well, thanks for coming on, dude. That was super fun, and that went really well.
Yeah, and you, when I get out to Northern California, you want to come up the coast, especially during harvest season. You need to come up there for sure.
That'd be sick, dude. Yeah. I love doing little California road trips.
Do a hero's journey from the garden, bro. We'll get you in the middle of a bunch of damn 14-foot monsters, and we'll get you going with hero's journey.
Damn, that'd be sick.
I don't know. Are you doing it every day? So you can do the math. Whatever episode that would be in early October.
Hopefully it'll be up there. Yeah, I've been doing them a little. I was doing them daily for a while. I've been taking it down a teeny bit just because I've been trying to do a little more of like what you were saying, like cutting it up.
Sure.
Because for me, it's like I actually have more fun filming, and the editing is a little more of like a chore.
Sure.
So I kind of get caught up in just filming. So I'm like a little. So I got to go back and do what you're saying and find some of those little audio gems and make some reels out of those.
For sure.
Because I'll just keep going and I'll just forget about them. And I don't know when I said what.
Well, and then they're time specific, really. Especially if you're about to put it up. I mean, I'm not telling you how to do it, but if that's the move, it comes before you put the deal up. So.
Yeah.
But that's like you say, it's a chore. You don't like that. I actually like the editing because I'm learning it all. Right, it's exciting to me.
Yeah.
But and I love the filming side, like you're saying. It's just there's challenges in that when you're old boy. Anyway.
Yeah. And when the videos are just so long, it just takes a lot. One problem is it just takes forever to upload to Instagram or wherever. And sometimes you have to do it from your computer if it's over 15 minutes.
Yep.
You have to kind of do this whole put it on your computer. And you have to make sure it's under 3.5 gigabytes. Just a couple of these hurdles you got to jump through that end up sometimes making it a couple hours. And so, it takes me 3 hours to do one, and I'm like, well, shit, that was
You're gonna get to episode 100, and you're just gonna set up a Hero 9 and just live straight to YouTube. You're just gonna. Linear.
Yeah, once I have I'm trying to get better with my templates and just having it where it's just easier, And it's cool because it's fun to be able to get this super long stuff on Instagram with the IGTV. You couldn't really do that a couple years ago, and now it's kind of funny how it worked out. At first, it's like the reels. You're like, what the fuck are these things?
Sure.
And now they're is what it, they're like the it. And the same with kind of IGTV when it came out. You're like, what's this stupid? But now it's just another tool that you put all your stuff on. So
I like it. Other than I've had some setting issues. I don't know. I doubt you have or other guys. I know they're as good as you, but settings issues in exporting. Sometimes it likes certain things different than you would normally.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I had to learn. I mean, that's normal. I get that. But even with IGTV, there was some weird things. One, the restrictive size for the brand. Yep. We could do the hours, right? Once you get a certain amount of followers, I think is the rule. But still, you'd make something that looks banging, and then IGTV or Instagram would just chop it to death. I felt
it's a fine line between making it small enough to go on there and then without losing quality. And it's yeah, I mean, just ask me too if you need just a teeny bit of help. There's a great app called LumaFusion
Yeah.
which is for iOS, and that's what I do all my phone editing for. And I'll even bounce stuff from Final Cut into my phone into LumaFusion, because on LumaFusion it makes it a lot easier to like make it small enough for Instagram but not lose too much quality and other little things like that. So it's an awesome app.
And it sucks because I'm assuming 80% of this stuff is mostly consumed on a phone, so it's like 85% nowadays. But like, you gotta have that perfect setting, especially with drone footage. That's been like the most annoying thing. Drone footage or sped up. You know, maybe it's me needing to ask you more questions one day. But that's been my biggest struggle. Drone footage or any kind of time warp or any footage like that is still, it's not happy with some of it, right? And there's those file sizes are, I don't know, 38 megs, 58 megs, nothing crazy, and it still chops up. So it's probably me. It's probably not Instagram. It's probably me.
You're right. That is a little tough. I've noticed that too with my drone footage. It's like if you really try to blow it up and then like get it, but yeah, just just keep shooting the 4K 60, and then
I'll just send you what my settings were and send you a video, and you'd be like, oh man, you should have made it this. And, you know what I mean? Like maybe that's all I need to see is a couple times like that.
Because I'm still new to the drone too, but it almost reminds me of like having a GoPro, which it's such a wide angle lens. It's cool, but it kind of ends up being, I don't know, there's no depth of field, so it's a little less cinematic, and everything's in focus. So it kind of creates almost like that's when some stuff can happen, as opposed to like one thing being in focus and then like everything's a background blur. And when that gets compressed, it's not as hard. It's a little easier to not look great. But when everything's in focus, when everything's in focus and it's like a moving camera and all this shit, because I've noticed my drone footage will do that too sometimes. We'll have a little bit of like just kind of weird things where I'm like, oh, what's that? And it's probably due to the compression and Instagram. But like I was saying, you look in the M50 because I think that's a good
$700. That's probably getting. That's only $700. It's probably getting scooped right after I get off this live with you.
Yeah, that's a steal, man. Does it come with a lens?
Let's see. I think it did. Let me.
Yeah, look into it. Look at this. Yeah,
M50.
Yeah. I think there's the Mark II that just came out. Which would be what you want. I guess you get the other one too, but
it comes with. Well, this one does. 3.5, 6.3 IS STM lens kit, 15-45 millimeter.
Yep.
$6.99.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that sounds like a pretty good move to me.
There you go. If you say that's the one to get without like getting too into it.
And that's a great deal. I thought it was going to be even more. I mean, that's a steal. So
sweet.
Yeah, read some of the reviews. Make sure it's kind of what you want. And all that.
It comes down to some of that is just is that for that price range, is that a pretty solid 4K camera? You know what I mean? Like if you recommend it, then I trust your opinion on it. Like,
yeah, and it'll be those Canon colors look great. And then if you need to have like two cameras, you still have your other your Canon.
Yeah, and I'll have
when you add them together, they look the same kind of.
I know it sounds ghetto, but I've gotten really comfortable with the iPhone 12 Pro and just a gimbal, like a normal Osmo gimbal. It's a little different. It fits a little funky, but like the normal 12 doesn't. And I got so comfortable with that. My challenge with that is just getting the right setup for quality audio, because some of the phone hookups to these microphones aren't the greatest sometimes.
Yeah.
And my subjects are always outside. It's like two people walking, or me, with one other person.
That is tough. That makes it tough. Yeah.
It's not an environment you want to be an amateur.
That's tough for sure. Audio. It's funny because audio is just as important, and it's just as.
That's why every shot we're in there. We're in there, baby.
Yeah. So if you're far away, then you can't hear them. So it's like then you got to have a lav mic. Well, then if there's two people, how do you do it? So it's like
Super
it's
tough.
definitely kind of hard. I mean, maybe in the future, if you're really like wanting to have, you would just have each person have a lav mic, and then the audio gets recorded to an audio recorder. But it makes it a little more of a pain in the ass, because then you gotta take the audio and match with videos. So it's like,
well, some of it's live too, right? Like I'll go live for 20 minutes showing the guy make hash, or I'll go live for 25 minutes and trimming through 20, 30 pounds or something. And then that audio is okay, but it's when the gimbal to go live vertical, the way it sits in the deal, like almost need to get like a different, like a DSLR's gimbal, like a nicer one, and just mount the other, let that gimbal control the whole thing, but mount it almost like a monitor for live, because I don't have the right access to the audio itself, wireless or not. And I definitely don't want to try. I learned when we had that podcast to let someone else edit the audio. Like, I learned that real quick.
Yeah,
I learned that
for
real
live.
quick.
Yeah, for live, that's like almost. Yeah, it's really hard. I mean, yeah. Look at the You probably know already, but like the Rode Video Micro is really good. And it's nice that it comes with 2 cords. One you plug in your DSLR, one you plug in your phone.
Sure.
So I like this one because I can use it for either phone or DSLR. And it's great because it picks up stuff from far away, and it's just it's also a directional mic. So basically, wherever you're pointing is where it'll pick up most of the audio.
Sure.
So even if it's 2 people, if you're pointing at their general direction, it'll do a good, better than just your phone or And Rode's like a pretty good brand. So
cool.
Rode Video Micro, yeah.
I think I had a small.
It's only like $70. It's pretty cheap.
That's fine. I had some cheap one that like hooked up to your phone a little bit, and I ended up having to rest the phone outside the gimbal. Like there was a gap so I could get the cord in. Like it's so annoying. But yeah,
that part is kind of hard. They're getting it on the gimbal and with the thing. That is a challenge, So, but that'll be fun to figure out
for sure. Well, brother, I'm
cool,
gonna bounce, man. I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna run grab some lunch. You're just in coffee mode. I'm a little ahead of you. I got to get some.
I know we're different. Yeah, I'm gonna catch up. I'm catching up. Yeah, thanks for hopping on. It was a sick episode. I'll probably get to editing here soon, and I'll let you know when it's out. You'll be famous.
Appreciate. Yeah, we're both so famous, brother. I'm gonna come. Maybe I just fly to SoCal tomorrow, and I'm the guy that beat you to the trash. Maybe that's how we do it. I flip it on the flip.
You're there, like doing it. Yeah.
be the best. 8 years in the making, bro.
That'd be
funny. It was good seeing you, and I'll catch up with you once I get out there.
All right, brother. Sounds good.
Cheers, man.
All right. Peace. Later. All right. There we have it, y'all. I'm gonna wrap this up right now because we're at an hour. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining. Peace.